morning, my dear students. In today's class, we are going to continue the same lesson, History, Unit 5, Educational Development in India. Education in the British rule. History of education in British rule can be divided into 4 periods. The first period is from the early days of the British rule up to 1813. During its early days, the East India Company followed a policy of indifference and non-interference towards education, as this sector did not form a part of its program. Missionaries, non-missionaries like Rajaram Mohan Roy of Bengal, Pachepur of Madras, W. Fraser of Delhi contributed to the cause of education. Period from 1813 to 1853. The second period was also marked by great educational controversies concerning the issues of educational policy, medium of instruction, and method of spreading education. First, there were the Orientalists who supported the preservation of Oriental learning and the use of Sanskrit and Persian as a media of instruction. These controversies were partially set at rest by Macaulay's Minutes of 1835. Higher education was de-orientalized, encouraging English education for the upper classes. Period from 1854 to 1920. The third phase of British influenced education may be called the period of an all India educational policy. It commenced with Sir Charles Wood's dispatch in 1854. Hunter Education Commission, started in 1882, gave emphasis to primary education. Period from 1921 to 1947. The fourth phase may be called the period of provincial autonomy. The new programs were hit hard by the worldwide economic depression in 1929. The introduction of complete provincial autonomy by the Government of India Act of 1935 further strengthened the position of the provincial ministers of education. After the Second World War, a very important plan for educational development known as the Sargent Report of 1944 was prepared. The blueprint had a powerful influence on contemporary education, both in thought as well as in practice. Educational development of independent India. The new epoch-making era in the history of education was ushered with the attainment of independence in 1947. In 1948, Dr. Radhakrishnan Commission was appointed to present a report on university education. In pursuance of the Commission's recommendations, University Grants Commission was constituted to determine the standard of higher education. It suggested new organizational patterns, improvement in quality of textbooks, curriculum, and methods of teaching. An education commission under the chairmanship of Dr. D.S. Gothari was appointed by the Government of India in 1964. Free and compulsory primary education for all children up to the age of 14 years and uniform educational structure of 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern were his main recommendation. That is 10th plus 2 years plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 years college pattern were his main recommendations. National policy on education. The first national education policy of 1968 marked a significant step in the history of education in post-independent India. It aimed to promote national progress, a sense of common citizenship and culture, and to strengthen national integration. In 1986, the Government of India introduced a new education policy. The aim of new education policy was to transfer a static society into a vibrant one with a commitment to development and change. The new education policy called for a child-centered approach in primary education and launched Operation Blackboard to improve primary schools nationwide. The new education policy was revised again in 1992. It envisaged the formulation of a national curriculum framework, emphasis on in-service education, improvement of facilities, and streamlining of the evaluation system at the secondary stage. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan SSA. The Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan SSA is the Government of India's flagship program that was launched in 2000 and 2001 to achieve universal elementary education. SSA is now the primary vehicle for implementing the provisions of the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act of 2009, that is RTE. Right to education provides for free and compulsory education to all the children from the age of 6 to 14 years. The SSA initiates a variety of innovation and activities related to schools. Some important activities include providing the midday meal and stipends for the students, and the setting up of school management committees and provision of teaching learning material for classrooms. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan RMSA is a centrally sponsored scheme for universalization of access and improvement of quality education at the secondary stage, which was implemented during 11th five-year plan period. The goal of RMSA is to make secondary education qualitative, available, accessible, and affordable to all young students in the age group of 15 to 16 years. The Union Budget 2018-19 proposed to give school education holistically without segmentation from preschool to class 12. In 2017, a committee was constituted by the Ministry of Human Resource Development to draft the National Education Policy. This committee submitted its report in 2019. Educational development in Tamil Nadu. The pattern of education in Tamil Nadu was not merely reading and understanding of books, but listening to learned persons. The Tirukkural stresses the need for education and warns the dangers of illiteracy. A significant development took place in the field of education during the Pallava period. The Vaishnava and Saiva must provided boarding and lodging facilities to all students and teachers. The Chola period was the most brilliant and creative period in the Tamil literature, and Tamil education enjoyed a greater connection with religion and temple. From the inscriptions of that period, we can now gain knowledge about the qualification of teacher, method of teaching, salary of teachers, food provided to the students, and the land given to the schools, etc. Rajaraja Chaturvedi Mangalam was a famous seat of a Vedic college. The Pandya kings patronized Sanskrit in an exemplary way. It is revealed in the copper plates, the educational institutions of that period were called as Kadigai, Salai and Vidyasadhana. Lands were given to teachers. They were known as Salabogam. The famous college during the Pandya regime was Kandalur Salai. Education in modern period. Fernandez, who came to Madurai during the time of Veerappa Nayak, established a primary school. The Maratha ruler Sarfoji too collected the old records and kept them in the Saraswati Mahal library in Tanjore. Sir Thomas Munro, the governor of Madras Presidency in 1820-27, was highly responsible for the introduction of Western education in Madras Presidency. He appointed a committee to conduct a statistical survey of the condition of education. The Education Commission of Monroe recommended the creation of two principal schools, Collectorate and Tahsildar schools, in each district. Grant in aid was given to all schools. The Madras University was founded in 1857. It was the first university in Tamil Nadu under the British rule. The Annamalai University was founded at Chidambaram in 1929. This was the next step in the development of higher education. Education since independence. Free education at the secondary level was introduced in 1964 and 65. The Gandhigram Rural College was established in 1975. In 1956, midday meal program was introduced in schools. Later, it was extended as nutrition meal scheme in 1982 to avoid dropouts in schools. Since, do you know what is dropouts? Those children are leaving the school in between before they finish their education. That is dropouts. Since 1986, several changes have taken place to meet the changing dynamics of the society in keeping with the national policy of education. With this lesson is over, my dears. We will see the other lessons in the forthcoming online classes. Thank you, my dears. Thank you.